Good day. My name is Kim Moore, and welcome to Relationship Game Changers, where we talk about those truths that transcend gender, race, economics, political parties. I guess I should add vax or unvax to that list as well. Why? Because kingdom truths transcend every ism, every division. It pierces to the heart of humanity. And so that is our greatest hope for change as we adopt kingdom principles, kingdom truths. And today I just want to take a few minutes. I know everybody's busy and running, but just wanted to give you something to think about today. Everything in life that you have has been given to you. No, stop, really consider that. Everything you have in life has been given to you. Gifts, some we want, some we don't want. Look, the air you breathe has been given to you. The body you have has been given to you. Listen, the home you live in or the place you reside has been given to you. Wait a minute, Kim, I went to work. I did all the work for that. Well, somebody had to give you the job and you performed well, got your paycheck, and then you went to a banker or a mortgage company and they assessed your credit worthiness and decided that you were someone that they could invest in. And so you signed a contract with the agreement to pay a certain amount each month, and they gave you the keys to their house that they're letting you use until you pay it off. Listen, guys, everything we have has been given to us. It's real important to understand that, because when we think that we get things on our own, it leads to arrogance, it leads to pride. And we all know what the Bible says about arrogance and pride. When we talk about generational curses, we talk about those things that are passed down from one generation to another, or generational blessings passed down from one generation to another. And so everything, people, that we have has been given to us. Everything we hope to be, everything we are, everything we hope to be, everything we hope to have has been given to us. I want to talk about really quickly 3 things and that God will give you. In most other cases, I won't say absolute because I haven't researched it that far, but I would say with a fair degree of certainty that these 3 things do not come through a human being such as flesh and blood. They don't come through flesh and blood. And I know some of you say, well, Jesus Christ is a person and we get these things through him. And you are absolutely right. But none of us are Jesus Christ. None of us. We are his body, but we are not Jesus Christ. And so there's some things that only God will give us. As a matter of fact, Jesus Christ is the gift of God to us. So even Jesus was given to us. But I want to talk about 3 things that are important for us as believers as we are in these days of, they're all inspiring, they're dangerously challenging, they're exciting. Oh my gosh, so much is going on. But these 3 things you and I will need to really just sit in, relish in, and just embrace, as they are things that no human being gave to you and no human being can take away from you. The first one is your faith. Romans 12:3 says, having gifts, faculties, talents, qualities that differ according to the grace given us, let us use them. He whose gift is prophecy, let him prophesy according to the portion of his faith. He whose gift is teaching. And it goes on to talk about that God has given every man a measure of faith. So you and I have received a measure of faith from God. Oh my gosh, nobody can take it from you because nobody gave it to you, which also means right now you have a measure of faith working in you. The Bible says that God has put eternity in our hearts. And so there is a measure of faith that is looking forward to eternity. We may not necessarily know it, see it, understand it, or explain it that way, but God put a measure of faith in us that we would have the ability to be able to receive all of his goodness. The second thing that God gives you is your revelation. your revelation, the revelation you have of Jesus Christ, the revelation and the truths that he makes you to understand and gives you and enlightens you and gives you the gift of sight to see. Your revelation comes from God. It says in Matthew 16:15-17, but you ask them, who do you say that I am? That was on the heels of Jesus asking the disciples, who do men say that I am? And the disciples at first said, well, some say you're Elijah, some say you're John the Baptist and the prophets. Then in verse 15, Jesus says, but who do you say that I am? And in verse 16, Simon Peter says, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And Jesus responded, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, because flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father in heaven. Revelation comes from God. No matter how well I teach, it is God who causes us to understand. He may give us the gift to explain things and say things in a certain way, but when the lights go on in you and my life, it's because God turned them on, and we can see because he's given us, according to Luke 7, I believe, and 21, the gift of sight. The gift of sight. But so your revelation, your purpose requires revelation. Your destiny requires revelation, and God is the supplier of that revelation. So don't get mad when people don't receive or understand the revelation that God has given you. He's given it to you. You know, my favorite movie is The Matrix. If you followed me for any length of time, I like the first Matrix. And in one scene, Morpheus, who was Neo, the I guess the star, if you want to say, he was the mentor to Neo, and he brought Neo into his destiny. And so on one occasion, Morpheus takes Neo to see the Oracle, this wise woman. And so Neo goes in and has this amazing experience. Well, maybe not in Neo's eyes, but he had an experience with the Oracle, and the Oracle told him some things, some things that will be true to his life. And when Neo left the room, him and Morpheus were walking to the elevator, and Neo was getting ready to tell Morpheus what the Oracle said. And Morpheus said this to Neo: what was said is for you and for you alone. And in essence, he forbid Neo from telling Morpheus what the Oracle has said. And by the way, what the Oracle had said was that you will have to choose between your life and Morpheus's life. And so the revelation that God gives you is for you, and he gives you revelation. It's not about your position. It's not about your title. It's because of the goodness of God. He says in the last days, he wants to show off his manifold wisdom to the powers and principalities and powers in heavenly places. And in order to do that, your part of the puzzle, your piece of the puzzle, your revelation is needed for this time. And then the last thing that God gives you that no man can take away from you is your ability to respond to God, your ability to receive revelation, but then also to respond to that revelation or respond to God. One of my favorite scriptures is John 10:17-18. And Jesus speaking, it says, the Father has intense love for me because I freely give my own life to raise it up again. He said, I surrender my own life. I lay it down. No one, in other words, no human being has the power to take my life from me. I have the authority to lay it down and the authority to take it back again. This is the commandment I received from my Father. Wow. So not only does God give you a measure of faith, he gives you the ability to receive revelation pertinent to your life. And then thirdly, he gives you the audacity to be able to respond to that revelation of your own free will. Oh my gosh. Doesn't matter what our circumstances are. Doesn't matter whether we're lying down or standing up. It doesn't matter whether we are contending with sickness, whether we're contending with finances. God has given you and I a measure of faith, and He's given us the ability to receive revelation concerning our circumstances. And He's given us the ability to respond to that revelation. Oh my gosh. What an amazing God we serve. Well, I hope that blessed you today. If it did, be sure to like and share this video. I'd be happy if you did that, of course. My gosh, leave me a comment here, and yeah, let's do this thing together. You are a relationship game changer. Why? Because you are basing and building your life on truths that transcend gender, transcend race, transcend economics, transcend politics, and my latest, transcend the vax. So guys, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again. Take care.